FPV tips and tricks. We're going to show you the how-tos and best ways to get you flying. Welcome back to another video, again made possible thanks to the wonderful team at Scan Computers. If you need anything audio, visual, gaming, computing related, go check them out. I've dropped the link down in the description below. Absolute wonderful team. So jumping into it, this episode is all about the finger position on the controller. Now with the Avata you get the motion controller standard, which is a very, very intuitive way of flying. On one of my other videos I've touched on it and I thought, am I going to get to grips with this? Am I going to be able to fly using the motion controller? And you know what? I really did like it. It was a great way to start and get into the way of flying. Now, as I progressed, literally straight away, I wanted to get hands on the controller, the actual flight controller from DJI. This is the way that you need to fly in my eyes when it comes to FPV flying. Now, like I say, we're going to touch on finger positioning on the controller. You might think, yeah, that's a bit of a easy, simple subject, but this is, something which has really helped me develop as an individual when it comes to flying, not just in the FPV world, but when it comes to my normal day-to-day flying on, the Spires, M200s, and that kind of thing. And yeah. It's certainly changed the way in which I am flying now, like really, really has. So the three ways I've identified from watching, YouTube videos, self-learning and that kind of thing is, the first one is your standard finger on top position, which again, if you play PlayStation, Xbox, that kind of thing, it is a very standard way of flying. I started off with this method. It gives good control of the drone on the controller. For very basic, simple maneuvers. And again, I think that's the way that a lot of people, I'd say 99% of people, go to when they first get hold of a drone controller. The second method is a half pinch method. Now, this method is the one that I really, really love and I've got to grips with absolutely unbelievably. This is where your thumb's on top and your finger is at the front edge of the stick. And me personally, I rest my front fingers on the controller itself just to kind of like anchor them in place. With my thumbs on top, that gives me really good range of movement, range of motion and control all the way through, especially if I'm trying to do flips and spins with the Avata. It gives a good level of control all the way throughout the flight. Now, the third way in which I can't get to grips with this, no pun intended, I can't get to grips with this at all, is the full pinch method, where your thumb and forefinger are literally either side of the controller in the sticks in its entirety. I just find that for me, with my fingers being elevated off the sticks and off the controller, I can't quite get that fine skill, fine movement when it comes to keeping hold of the sticks flying. I just feel that my flying goes really, really sloppy. But yeah, I've spent a lot of time doing the half pinch method, and that's what I go to now. So I've got these simulators set up, and we're going to get into that. I've not used it for a long while. Reason being is that it's really pixelated when you go into the goggles. I don't know. Hopefully DJI have sorted this out. They've done an update, but that's the main reason that I've not gone into the simulator in a good while, because it just makes it now impossible to fly. As I've touched on before in previous videos, the DJI Virtual Fly is a fantastic simulator for what it is. It's good. It has the basics there. It gets you good time on the sticks, good time to practice. I think I spent circa 10 hours on the simulator before going out live with the Avata, just so that I knew that drone inside out, back to front, and I could fly it confidently, especially when going out on commercial jobs. So yeah, without any further ado, we're going to get into it, and yeah, let's get the three methods shown. So for nice and ease, we're going to go for the factory. It's a big open map. It's really good. There's plenty of places to fly around, and yeah, it's actually a good learning ground. Now, I don't know if you can see on the screen, I know it's quite exposed and blown out, but I've not actually, on the throttle stick, I've not taken the spring out the back. Reason being, if I need to fly on commercial jobs in normal mode, where I need to have that level of control, I favour that spring-loaded stick. It is doable to remove the spring. Loads of people do it. All it is, you take off this back panel here, you then remove the spring tension, place that cover back, and then that will allow that stick to be free-flowing as it would do on normal FPV controllers. Now, for this, to keep it nice and level and easy playing field, I've put it in manual mode. Reason being, again, best way of flying, and the way that I'm learning and trying to get absolutely nailed and down to a T. So, yeah, get the goggles on and we're going to show you. So straight away the goggles are pixelated, which is a little bit disappointing. The app's had plenty of updates, the goggles have been updated, and yeah, I don't know if you saw at the start, I went straight to the half pinch method, so I'm now on the thumb on top method, which is what I was on about. It's I don't find that I can fly. Yeah, happy days. Get nice and smooth, fly through places, and my judgment is my judgment isn't the best at the moment because, like I say, it's super pixelated inside the goggles. And one as well, my drone setting is that the gimbal is set at 25 degrees. Just so then, if I am doing fly-throughs, buildings, etc., it's a nice, easy, slow-paced, gives you that really smooth cinematic style, and you're not absolutely tanking it around the area. Beauty with the spring-loaded thing, you've got to obviously be mindful. If you're looking, if you on the screen, you can see on the sticks, I'm having to hold the stick down because if I let go, jump straight to centre, the drone starts climbing. But I can do all my turns, etc., spins and all that, and the drone literally stays in place. So, yeah, we'll try some snazzy flying. Go through that. I think there's a gap. Yeah, go through there. I mean, this is the beauty of the simulators, isn't it? That you can put all the time and effort you want flying. Oh my god, flying around. And if you crash, it doesn't matter. Battery life on the drone doesn't matter. Obviously, constraints of the controller and battery. The controller and goggle battery. But in terms of actual drone flying, it's great. You can just get going. Loads of time to practice. So you can see with that 25 degrees, it's a nice, smooth, slow, he says, flight path. I can crank it up to 40 odd degrees and the drone will accelerate at a rapid rate of knots. So I'm going to jump onto the second method which I spoke about, which is the half pinch method. So my forefingers sit essentially on top of the pad here, on top of the controller. And that just I just find that allows me to be quite anchored when it comes to flying. It gives me a smoother level of input. And I've got, he says, much more control over the drone. I'm not doing myself any favours here, am I? Much more control over the drone when it comes to flying. I feel smoother, I feel a lot better attacking angles, gaps. Again, trying to figure out where things are when it's pixelated. Go fly through there. Nope. Then you get around the buildings, nice and smooth. I just feel like this is a lot smoother when it comes to flying. Up through the crane. See what I mean? Like before when I was doing the thumb method, I was spanking it into that building all the time. And I can just find that I get a much more control over the drone, put it into spaces, fly around, float around. Ah, he says. Whoop. Sometimes you go for it, haven't you? Give it a go. Right, out of that now. And then the third method is the full pinch. Now, this is where, again, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, you pinch in front and back of the sticks, your fingers are floating as such, and I think maybe because I'm so used to that half pinch method, I don't have that resistance on the pad to, to keep myself anchored, to keep myself grounded. I just find that I'm quite sloppy when it comes to this level of flying. But again, is it worth spending more time getting in the control, getting into the sim, practicing? Don't feel stable at all when flying around. But again, you see a lot of people fly like this, and there's nothing wrong with it at all. Like I say, it's just down to personal preference of how you want to fly, what you learn with, what suits you as an individual, because we're all different. This is just tips, tricks, how-tos, different ways to consider, and what we like to use. Ooh. That's a hot pinch. Go back to what's comfortable too. Is he gonna do it? Ooh. Yeah, boy! Quality. I can guarantee if I did that for real life, I would be panicking. Can I prove it's not a fluke? Can I prove I can do it again? He's gone again. Ah! I hit the hole though. I hit the hole, so not all too bad. Just didn't power off and bring the nose up quick enough. Power up, sorry. Bring the nose up quick enough. But like I said before, this is the beauty of a simulator. You can practice things. You can, track on the city, for example. There's a monorail that goes all the way around. Yeah, just practice, isn't it? Absolute sheer practice. Ooh, oh, that's a taller than I thought. Anything in there? Nope. Right gap? I think that's a gap. So pixelated. So pixelated. It's unbelievable. I did not expect to do that. So there we have it. There's the 3 different methods when it comes to FPV flying, in our opinion, my opinion. Yeah, it was a shame that the app is still pixelated, but hopefully you got to see with the in-screen caption screen recording that pops into the video in the corner. But yeah, there's loads of different apps out there that are really good. You can have like car chases, parks, other buildings. I think there's one with the volcano as well. Obviously, don't go and fly volcanoes without prior planning, prep, and permissions in place, because it is very, very dangerous. But yeah, it's that's what we found. And again, like I said, I instinctively go to that half pinch method just because it really, really does give me that level of control over the drone. So yeah, hopefully that was a useful video, and if it is, drop us a subscribe and a like. If you've got any comments, please drop them down below and I'll get back to you on them. If you didn't like it, don't subscribe. Simple in it. But yeah, until next time, we'll catch you later.